My child, listen to me. I am speaking to you right now. And I need you to receive every word I am placing in your spirit. So many will move past this without stopping. But I know you. I know your heart. And I know the weight you have been carrying. I know the quiet prayers you whispered when no one else was within hearing distance. I know the moments you questioned whether I still saw you, whether I still remembered you, whether I still genuinely cared. I brought you here because the answer to every one of those questions is yes. I see you. I remember you. And I care more deeply than your mind has the capacity to fully receive. You did not find this by accident. Heaven positioned this message directly in front of you because your destiny is calling your name right now. And you cannot afford to look away from it. I want you to pause for a moment. Breathe. Notice how something in the atmosphere around you feels different than it did a moment ago. That is not emotion producing an effect. That is not coincidence. That is my presence touching your spirit in a way that is real and specific and meant only for you. I am watching the way your heart is leaning toward these words. I see the battle happening inside you, between the part that has grown weary and the part that still holds on to hope. I am speaking directly to the part of you that is exhausted, but still searching for me. The part that wants to believe again. The part that has refused to walk away from the promise I placed inside your soul before you were ever born. Hear me clearly. You were chosen to receive this. Many people will pass by these words without knowing what they were walking away from. But you stayed. You stayed because your spirit recognized that this message carries something for you specifically. Something inside you said, "Do not skip this." That was my voice inside your heart. I guided your attention here. I guided your timing here. You are not late and you are not behind. You are exactly where I need you to be. Listen with the deepest part of who you are. You have been moving through a season that tried to silence you. A season that pushed the message that you had been forgotten. A season where darkness tried to cover the light you carry. But you kept moving. And kept hoping. Even when the hoping was exhausting. And because you stayed faithful through the storm, heaven has brought you to this moment of clarity. Do not leave this. What I am about to speak will shift something in your life. I arranged for this message to reach you today. Things were moved around in your day specifically to bring you here. That is how significant this moment is. That is how significant you are to me. You are not here by chance. You are here because you are chosen. And because the next chapter of your life is preparing to begin. And because I am calling your name with a love that has never once failed. My child, your destiny is calling. You may not feel prepared for what is coming. You may not feel worthy or strong enough to carry it. But I am telling you that everything you have been through has been shaping you and building you and positioning you for what arrives next. The breakthrough you have been praying toward is closer than you are currently believing. The answer you have been waiting on is already in motion. Something you have been holding in your heart for a long time is about to be released into your actual life. I am telling you this now because I want you to be ready to receive it. I want you to believe again before you can see it. You have been asking inside yourself, When will things finally shift for me? And I am answering you now. Your life is about to shift. Not in a small or temporary way, but deeply, permanently, undeniably. I am bringing restoration to places that have been broken. I am bringing peace to the places that have been anxious. I am bringing genuine joy to places that have felt hollow. I am bringing clarity where confusion has been living. I am bringing strength where weakness has settled. I am bringing light to the places that have been dark for too long. Every moment of pain you endured, and every tear you released, and every disappointment that landed on you, it was not the end of your story. It was the preparation for what your story is becoming. The enemy worked to convince you that the storm was punishment. But I am telling you the truth right now. It was positioning. Positioning you for the blessing, and for the breakthrough, and for the destiny that is calling your name. In this very moment, my child, do not let your mind drift away from this. Stay here with me, and let me speak to your heart in the way I have been longing to. Let me pour back into you the strength you thought you lost somewhere along the way. Let me remind you that you are loved with a love that does not have an expiration. Let me remind you that you are chosen in ways you have not yet fully understood. Let me remind you that your presence in this world is not a mistake or an accident or a random occurrence. You were designed with purpose, created with intention, called with a destiny that is still fully intact. I see the nights you lay awake, because your mind could not quiet itself. I see the moments you tried to smile through pain that was real. I see the times you felt numb and confused and overwhelmed and hollow. All at the same time. I see the questions that have been sitting in your heart so long. They have started to feel like permanent residents. And I also see the strength inside you that you have not been able to see in yourself. I see the courage it took for you to keep going, when everything in you was reaching for a way to stop. I see how hard you have been trying, under the surface where no one else can observe it. And I am telling you right now, you were never carrying any of it alone. I walked through every moment with you, even the ones where you could not feel me. I held you together in the moments you were certain you were falling apart. I protected you from battles that were happening around you, that you never had visibility into. I lifted you in the moments you did not know how to stand. I spoke peace into your heart, when fear was trying to be the loudest thing in the room. And today I am speaking something even stronger than peace into you. I am speaking destiny. I am speaking purpose. I am speaking a hope that will break the lies that have wrapped themselves around your life. If you know He is orchestrating your life even now, let that truth settle into you as a declaration. Something in you is awakening. Something in you is remembering who you are. Something in you is recognizing my voice beneath all the noise. And you are right to recognize it. This is for you. This is your confirmation. And your moment. And the turning point you have been waiting on. Without knowing exactly what you were waiting for, you are stepping into a new season. Because heaven is ready to move on your behalf. It is time. Time for healing and release and restoration. Time for breakthrough. Time for the answers you have been reaching toward. Your destiny is opening right now. My child, I brought you here because this message could not wait. Heaven has been drawing on your spirit, guiding your steps, placing things in your path, whispering to your heart. to get you to this exact place. You are standing at a spiritual doorway right now. A moment where everything can shift. This moment is not ordinary. And what is happening inside you as you receive these words is not happening by coincidence. You may think you simply arrived here through the ordinary mechanics of your day. But I led you. I reached through the tiredness, and the distractions, and the heaviness you were already carrying when today began. And I still brought you here. Because something in your life needs to change now. Something you have been trying to carry alone has become heavier than you can continue managing. Something inside you has been broken for a long time. And you have been trying to hold the pieces together through sheer determination. So I came. I came to speak life back into the places that went numb. I came to restore the fire that pain tried to put out. I came to remind you of who you are. And whose you are. The enemy tried everything to prevent you from reaching this moment. He used discouragement to slow you down. And fear to confuse you. And exhaustion to drain you. He whispered lies into your mind, hoping you would accept that you were not worthy, or not enough, or not chosen. He threw one disappointment after another at you, hoping you would conclude that I had forgotten your name. He tried to bury your hope under a silence he manufactured. But you made it here anyway. Do you see what that means? Do you see the strength that is actually living inside you? You made it here. And that means your destiny is stronger than your pain has been. My child, there have been moments when you nearly walked away from everything. Moments when the weight in your chest was genuinely too heavy to describe to anyone. Moments when you looked at your life, and nothing in it was making sense. Moments when you wondered if you were simply invisible to heaven. But heaven was never absent. Heaven was working. Heaven was fighting for you and guiding you. Slowly and precisely. Even when you could not feel the movement. Your endurance has shaken the darkness around you. Your persistence has genuinely confused the enemy's strategy. Your ability to keep going, despite everything that was working to break you, has proven that the calling on your life is not small. It is powerful. That is why you have faced what you have faced. The enemy only invests concentrated effort against those who carry something genuinely valuable. You are carrying purpose. You are carrying a destiny. You are carrying a light that threatens the darkness. Look back for a moment at everything you survived. Look at the moments that were designed to destroy you and did not. Look at the nights you cried and still woke up with enough in you to face another day. Look at the situations that were calculated to break your spirit. And yet your spirit is still reaching for me right now. That is not weakness. That is divine strength. That is your calling refusing to be buried. That is my hand holding you. In the moments you could not feel the holding. Please consider supporting this channel. If these words have been meaningful to you, our purpose is to carry genuine joy and peace, and a deeper devotion to God into your life. If you feel moved to partner with us, the Super Thanks option is available below. My child, I know you have been tired. Not physically tired alone, but tired in the soul. I know your heart feels worn through. I know the battles have drawn down your reserves. I know you have been carrying wounds that have no visible marker. I know you have been performing strength, while something inside you was quietly fracturing. I know the smile you show the world is not what you feel in your interior. I know how heavy ordinary days have felt. I know how many times you have said to yourself that you cannot continue this way. And yet here you are, still breathing, and still seeking, and still hoping, and still listening. That alone is evidence that heaven has not let you fall. You are not stuck. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned or overlooked or lost. You are standing in front of a doorway that leads into healing and clarity and restoration and purpose. The battles you have been fighting were not random. The pain you moved through was not meaningless. The silence you experienced was not rejection. Everything was aligning you with this moment. You prayed for answers. But before I could give you answers, I needed to position your spirit to receive what I wanted to give you. You prayed for change. But before I could bring change, I had to remove certain things that were standing in the way of what I was building. You prayed for breakthrough. But before breakthrough could arrive, your heart needed to be strengthened to carry it. You prayed for peace. But before I could give you that peace, I needed to address the things that had been stealing it. Everything you walked through had purpose. Even the parts that hurt the most. Something deep is happening inside you right now. Something your eyes cannot fully see, but your spirit can feel. I am calling out to the part of you that has been silent for too long. The part that has been hurting. The part that has been dreaming quietly. The part that has been waiting without always knowing what it was waiting for. The part that has been holding on by a thread. I am breathing life into that place. Right now. You have been waiting for a sign. And this is it. You have been waiting for confirmation. And this is it. You have been asking whether you are still on the right path. And I am answering you now. Yes. You are. You are exactly where you need to be. You are not behind and you are not delayed. Everything is aligning exactly as it should. Even what felt like setbacks were preparation for what is coming next. My child, I will not let your story end in pain. I will not let your purpose slip away from you. I will not let the enemy take what belongs to you. I will not let your heart remain broken, or your spirit remain weary. I am lifting you, and strengthening you, and preparing you, and leading you. I guided your spirit here because it is time. Time for clarity and restoration. Time for the impossible to become possible. Time for your story to shift. Time for heaven to intervene. Time for your destiny to open. You are not here by accident. You are here because the next chapter of your life starts now. My child, come closer to me right now. I want to speak to the part of you that has been hurting in silence. The version of you that has been holding everything together on the outside, while something much more fragile was happening on the inside. I have been watching you far more closely than you have been aware of. Every moment you felt unseen. Every moment you concluded no one genuinely cared. Every moment you cried in the private space of your room. I was there. I saw you. I heard you. I carried the weight of what you were carrying. Alongside you. You were never alone. Even when your heart was completely convinced otherwise. I saw the nights when the tears came quietly. The way you tried to contain the shaking in your chest, so no one would have to deal with it. The way you held yourself together in the dark. When you thought no one would ever understand what was actually happening inside you. You did not want anyone to worry. You did not want to appear weak. So you cried in a way that no one else could hear. But I heard it. Every time. Those tears reached my heart. Every single time. There were moments you whispered into the darkness. Do you still hear me? I remember the trembling in your voice. The way your heart ached as you waited for any kind of response from me. You were not asking for anything extraordinary. You just wanted to know I was still near. Still present. That your prayers were landing somewhere real. And even in the seasons when heaven felt entirely quiet to you, I was listening. My silence was never my absence. You prayed those broken, incomplete prayers. Because you were doing everything available to you to stay afloat. You prayed when you felt nothing. You prayed when the numbness was complete. You prayed when you had no evidence that anything was responding. That kind of faith is not ordinary. It is rare. It is strong in ways that do not announce themselves. And it is part of why your destiny carries the weight that it does. I saw the days when you woke up already depleted. Before the day had asked anything of you. When getting yourself upright felt like a battle that required everything. When things that should have been manageable felt impossible. You did not tell anyone about those days. Because you did not want to become someone else's burden. And so you kept fighting the battles inside your own mind. Convinced you had to carry all of it alone. But you never did. Not for a single moment. I walked through every one of those moments with you. Every time your heart whispered that it could not continue. I wrapped my presence around you. Every time your thoughts spiraled into the dark. I held you steady even when you could not feel the holding. Every time you reached the point of wanting to quit. I placed a strength inside you that you did not recognize as coming from anywhere outside yourself. You survived what was designed to break you. Because I did not allow you to fall. I saw the betrayals that cut deep into your heart. I saw the people who promised to stay. And then disappeared without explanation. I saw the ones who took what your kindness offered. And left when the cost of staying exceeded what they were willing to pay. I saw how those experiences made you question your worth. And fear trusting again. But there was nothing wrong with you. The failure was in the way they treated what was precious. You did not lose them. They lost you. And the wounds they caused did not go unnoticed by me. I saw the way you learned to smile while the interior of you was breaking. You became skilled at laughing while hurting. And at comforting others while you were yourself in need of comfort. And at convincing the world that everything was fine. So no one would ask the harder questions. But I saw through all of it. Every time. I saw the truth behind the eyes that were performing stability for everyone else. I saw how tired your soul genuinely was. I saw the loneliness you never shared with anyone. There were days when people surrounded you. And yet you felt completely alone in a way that had no adequate explanation. You kept watching for someone who would truly see you. Without requiring an explanation first. Someone who would understand. Without you having to assemble the words. But the fear of being vulnerable again kept the door closed. So you carried the loneliness quietly. And waited for it to lift on its own. And through all of that, I stayed close to you. I saw every storm inside your mind. And every battle no one else could see. And every moment you fought for a peace that would not come easily. If surrendering to Him brings you peace, let that be your posture right now. My child, I have been watching you more closely than you realize. Not from a comfortable distance, but intimately, and with a love that does not blink. Every step of your journey has been within my complete attention. Every sigh, and every tear, and every question, and every fear, and every small flickering moment of hope. I saw all of it. I gathered your tears, and I guarded your heart. And I walked alongside you through the valleys that were deep enough that you genuinely thought you might not find your way out. And yet here you are, stronger than you have been acknowledging, braver than you currently give yourself credit for being, chosen in ways that your understanding has not yet caught up with. Let me tell you something that will lift something from your chest. You have never been unseen. Not for a moment, or a breath, or a heartbeat. I saw you in every moment you felt forgotten. I saw you in every moment you believed you were unimportant. I saw you in every moment you were convinced that no one genuinely cared. I saw the struggles you carried that had no language. I saw the pain you kept hidden under the performing. I saw the moments you quietly wished someone would ask how you were actually doing. Your pain matters to me. Your healing matters to me. Your future matters to me. And I am not going to allow the wounds of your past to be the final word over the rest of your story. Your life is not invisible to heaven. Your heart is not forgotten. You are not alone. And you have never been alone. And you will never be alone. I am here. And I am not going anywhere. My child, listen with an open heart now. Because what I am about to reveal will begin healing places inside you that have been aching for a long time. You have asked me so many times, Lord, why the delay? Why did it have to take this long? Why was there so much pain? Why did heaven feel so silent when I needed answers most? I heard every one of those questions. And today I am giving you the truth your heart has been waiting to receive. The delays you faced were not punishment. They were protection. You interpreted my timing as indifference. But I was protecting you from things you could not see from where you were standing. From people who were not yet right for the season you were entering. From opportunities that would have drained the very things that needed to be growing in you. From roads that looked like progress, but would have carried you away from your actual destination. I slowed certain things, because the timing was not safe for your heart. You were not losing time. I was protecting your life and your calling and your future. From what your natural eyes could not see. There were moments when you cried and asked, why not now? And I was whispering into your spirit, not yet. You interpreted not yet as rejection. But it was never rejection. It was preparation. I was aligning the right people, and the right circumstances, and the right environment, and the right timing. And I was preparing you. Because if I had given you what you were asking for, before you were ready to carry it, it would have overwhelmed you in ways that would have cost you more than the waiting ever did. Your tears in the seasons of delay were watering a future I was building. Every prayer planted something real. Every night you held on when you had nothing left built a strength in you that did not announce itself, but that was becoming foundational. You felt like nothing was moving. But something was growing beneath everything visible. Your future did not disappear. It was maturing. I know how deeply life has hurt you. I know the moments you felt broken beyond what could be repaired. I know how much you endured while keeping it private. But hear me clearly. Your pain was not for nothing. What the enemy tried to use to destroy you, I used to grow you. Everything that broke you is being converted into what builds you. Your pain taught you a compassion that could not have been developed any other way. Your disappointment produced a wisdom that ease could not have given you. Your heartbreak built a strength that comfort never would have. Your loneliness produced a resilience that company cannot manufacture. Your battles produced a faith that only fire can create. You did not go through all of that to return to who you were before any of it. You went through it because you are becoming someone stronger and deeper and wiser and far more capable of carrying what I have prepared for you. The version of you that is emerging from this season is one the enemy genuinely hoped would never rise. But you are rising anyway. The reason certain people left your life, I know their absence created pain you did not know how to process. I know how deeply you attached your heart to people who could not remain. But some people were removed, not because you were lacking in some way, but because your calling was too significant to be tied to them permanently. They were not designed to walk into your future with you. They could not carry the weight of what your destiny requires. They would have held you back, or drained what needed to be building, or broken you further in ways that would have complicated what I was preparing for you. So I removed them. Through a love you did not recognize as love at the time. You thought you were losing people, but you were being protected. You thought their departure meant something was wrong with you, but it meant the opposite. It was divine direction, moving you toward what was actually aligned with your calling. Some left because they had completed their purpose in your story. Some left because their presence was standing between you and the blessings I was positioning to reach you. Their leaving was not abandonment. It was alignment. I was removing what was temporary to make room for what will stay. People who will genuinely support you and understand you and walk with you in the direction you are moving. You do not have to chase what left. What is sent by me will not leave your life out of selfishness or indifference. What I place in your life for the long season will remain. And let me tell you why your prayers seem to go unanswered for so long. Every prayer you prayed reached me. Not one word was lost or discarded. Every cry and every whisper and every plea, I received them all. But I answered according to what was genuinely best for you, rather than what felt most immediately satisfying. I delayed certain things because your heart needed healing that had to come first. I delayed certain blessings because the environment around you was not yet ready to support them. I delayed certain breakthroughs because giving them too soon would have harmed rather than helped you. You prayed for change, but I needed to change you first. You prayed for doors to open, but I was building the character in you that could handle what was on the other side of those doors. You prayed for clarity, but I was removing distractions that were clouding everything. You prayed for healing, but I had to reach places in you that had never been fully addressed. When I delay, I am not denying you. When I bring silence, I am preparing something in you. When I say not yet, I am not withholding. I am perfecting. You have not been waiting in emptiness. You have been waiting in preparation. And the preparation is reaching its completion. The silence was painful. And I know it made you question things you had previously trusted. But my silence was protection, not distance. I was shielding you from things forming around you that you could not see. I was fighting battles in the unseen places so you would not have to. I was preparing blessings that needed time to fully form. And I was shaping your spirit into something stronger than every attack that had come against it. What felt like breaking was actually building. What felt like loss was actually clearing the path. What felt like abandonment was actually redirection to something better. What felt like delay was actually me preparing an ending to your story that exceeds what you were originally praying for. You survived delays that were designed to discourage you beyond recovery. You survived heartbreaks that were aimed at your permanent destruction. You survived silence that was designed to hollow out your faith. You survived storms that were built to bury you. And because you survived every one of them, you are stepping into a season that will lift you higher than anything you lost ever reached. You have been in a long night, but the morning is coming. You have been in a long winter, but the spring is rising already. You have been in a long battle, but the victory is taking shape right now. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. And soon you will understand why every moment of the waiting was genuinely worth it. If God's promises have never failed you, and your faithfulness is the foundation you stand on, let that be your declaration right now. And share this with someone who needs to hear that the delay was never rejection, and the silence was never absence, and the one who loves them most has been working without stopping.